What's up, y'all? Thank you so much for clicking into this video. My name is Joy if you're new here, and if you're not, welcome back. So, today, if you can see by the title, we're going to be talking about, is a career in tech still worth it after all of the turmoil in the job market today? This is going to be a little quick. I'm really like just talking off the cuff here. I didn't really prepare. I just was like, I really want to talk about this because if you haven't watched any of my other videos, I was laid off in 2022 from my big tech job as a technical recruiting sourcer. And then after that, I went into a tech boot camp to become a product designer. And so the job search for a product design job has not been easy as an entry level, associate level designer. And I feel like what prompted me to like want to make this video is that I've seen like people on TikTok and other social media platforms talking about the tech job market and like trying to get a UX role specifically. And I feel like people usually fall into two categories when it comes to like talking about the tech job market, specifically with UX. They're either way too optimistic, talking about like the golden age of getting into tech in like 2017 to like 2022, or they're on the opposite side of the spectrum and they're like extremely pessimistic, negative, basically telling you to find something else to do. I fall somewhere in the middle because as a recruiter, I'm able to like notice little trends. I'm not saying that I be like trend searching and stuff for the tech job market anymore. That is not my job. Okay. And I also like look at the indicators that the job market is like kind of turning around. But also I feel like we're in a time where I don't necessarily trust that every job listing is open when they say it's open, if you get my drift. So let's talk about, is it still worth pursuing a career in the tech industry, and what are some steps for you to start today? So I will say that the golden age of getting into product design was probably like 2019 to maybe like 2021, 2022. And that's when like it was truly a candidate's market. The economy was booming. It was more budget for entry level roles. They were more willing to take a chance on talent and potential rather than like strictly going by skills. And I think we all saw that when a lot of the major tech companies started doing layoffs around 2022, that there was a shift in the talent in the job market and recruiting. And sadly, that affects people like me who are career changers. And I've noticed a few things. One of the things that I noticed is that there's not a lot of opportunities for career changes. Now, for students and people fresh out of getting a 4 year degree or whatever the case may be, like there are a lot of internships, there are a lot of early career opportunities. And I think that that's great because I remember what it was like to get out of college and it felt like, where are the jobs? Where are the opportunities? Like, so I'm glad to see that there are still internships and early career opportunities that are out there, but there aren't a lot of opportunities for straight up entry level career changers, and it has been very disheartening to see. And the sad part is that it's not like, not saying that new grads don't have anything to offer, because y'all do. Y'all have so much to offer. The fresh perspective, I think, with new grads and career changers is something that's really overlooked by companies, because these are people that have totally different lived experiences that can bring these experiences to work into their everyday work lives. And one thing that I noticed is that more and more people are becoming interested in product design and UX design. And it's crazy because the UX job market is slated and not slated. And I say that with a grain of salt, y'all. I'm saying this with a grain of salt. But the UX job market is slated to grow over the next 5 years. So it's like the demand is there, but the opportunities are not there for entry level. Now, if you go on LinkedIn or whatever your favorite job board is and see how many senior level roles are out there. It's like, it's kind of, on one hand, it's motivating because it's like, okay, if I could just get to that point, then like the opportunities are endless. But it seems like there has been a shift of, okay, we can hire this person for potential, to no, we need we need you to come in and be able to hit the ground running and do what we need you to do ASAP. So those are some things that I've noticed about like the job market per se when it comes to UX design. You definitely have to put in more groundwork, um and network, and maybe go to events and things in your city to really try to like make those connections, so that when these limited opportunities come about, you have some type of connection to the people at the companies that you want to work for. Another thing that I'm noticing is that a lot of people who share their experience on LinkedIn, things of that nature, they're sharing that it's not all about aesthetics. Like, yes, it is great and wonderful and needed for you to have an aesthetically pleasing portfolio, but hiring managers really want to see, and this has always been the case, especially from my experience working with product design hiring managers and hiring teams. They want to see the impact. They want to see how you were able to impact the business in a positive way, how you were able to use your resources to make impact. They want to see that data. And so I know it's hard to be able to create these data points when you're not working with a real company, or you don't have like real job experience. So one thing that I've done is I reach out to startups. I'm reaching out to people on social media about the products that they're working on to try to get some volunteer experience. And I'm not going to lie, even that has been a challenge. But the more, I think, two really strong case studies that show a story of what you're trying to change, work on, improve, and showing the impact at each stage is more valuable than having a bunch of projects and a pretty portfolio. So that's definitely something that I've gained, that I've learned from just speaking with my career coach, my mentors, and really just speaking to other designers. Like, they want to see the impact. So that's definitely something that you could work on as well. And lastly, use ChatGPT, whatever your favorite AI platform is, to really help you craft a resume that shows the impact in whatever role you've had. Now, I ain't never going to get up here and tell y'all to lie. As a former recruiter, like, once you start having conversations with people, it's evident when y'all be lying on your resumes. You feel me? So what I encourage people to do, and what I've been doing myself, is go through the job descriptions at the companies that you're interested in. Find the common themes of the particular role that you're interested in, and then figure out how you can translate your current experience to sound like what the job description is asking for. Um, and this is why ChatGPT is so helpful, because they can help you fill in the blanks and all of that stuff. Now, you're probably like, girl, has it worked for you? It hasn't worked for me quite yet, but at this point in time, like, I truly realize that it is the job market, it's not me. I'm networking, my portfolio is getting better. I'm working on it. My resume is getting better. I'm working on it, fine tuning it. But I'm really like networking and trying to put myself in these positions so that when the opportunity opens up, there's no reason for anybody to say no. And so I think when you approach the job search from that perspective, it helps you to feel like, number one, it keeps you busy during the day. I don't know if you're trying to transition while you're still working, or if you're unemployed, but it definitely keeps the momentum going and makes you feel like you're making strides to make this major change. But eventually the opportunity is going to open up. So definitely don't give up, because it's hard right now, for sure. So should you still try to break into tech even though the job market has yet to recover? In my opinion, the answer is going to be yes. Because this is the thing about working in the tech industry. Okay, before I go into that, let me give a disclaimer. I don't ever want to be the type of person that puts my opinion or things out there to make people want to pursue something for money and money alone. If that's what motivates you completely to get out of the bed in the morning, more power to you. For me, I feel like there has to be a balance, and this is just something that I've learned throughout my career because I've always been like, oh, the opportunities will bring the money and not really focusing on the money too much. But at this stage in my life, like financial security is definitely, something that's important to me. So I try to focus on what impact will I be making and will the dollars equate to that in the next role that I'm looking for. And also being realistic. I'm not saying that I'm trying to make 100, 5,000, 5 million bajillion dollars in a more entry level role. Like, let's be for real. But I definitely feel like my transferable experience is valuable, and so I don't want to discount that just because I'm newer into the field. So I don't want to say that like you should consider a career in tech because the money be good. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, I just want to put that disclaimer out there. Now, all that being said, should you consider a career in tech, even though the job market is still a little wonky right now? Yes, and this is why. As I mentioned, you have the opportunity to earn more, and I think that as a black woman, it would be remiss for me to make this type of content without speaking of the financial impact of having a job in the tech industry, like what that can mean for generations coming behind you. Because I think there was a study that says by 2050 or like 2075, something in between those years, that the black wealth will be like $1 or something like that. As someone that's trying to expose more black people to product design and a career in tech, it is paramount for me to mention that the financial implications of working in the tech industry is always going to be on the up and up. Like, it's always just going to make sense if that's what you're if that's a priority to you. And at this stage in my life, it's definitely a priority to me, so I definitely want to mention that. I think that one of the reasons why I love the idea of working in the tech industry and working in the tech industry is that normally you're working on things that are cool. Like, you're working on products that are making an impact, that are innovative. So if that's something that, gets you going, that's definitely something to consider. And I feel like if you're doing a technical role, there's so many opportunities for you to work in different industries. Like, having a technical background definitely is a transferable skill. If you get tired of working in tech, you want to go to healthcare, education, whatever. Like, some of these technical roles are transferable across industries, and I definitely think that that's another reason to really consider a career in tech. Because if you get burnt out over there, you could go over there and find something new to do. Now, y'all should know by now one thing about me: I'm gonna always keep it 100. You feel me? So I would be remiss to not mention the pitfalls of trying to pursue a career in tech, because I don't want y'all to think that I'm just some pie in the sky, everything is gravy like type of person. I definitely am optimistic, but realize like the realities of working in the tech industry. And the biggest pitfall is the burnout. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of learning, especially if you're in a technical role. You're constantly learning. You have to constantly learn. The technology is constantly changing. Look how far AI has come in the last 3 years alone. You feel what I'm saying? So like, you definitely have to have a growth mindset. And this is why I say you can't be like solely focused on the money aspect. Like, it has to be something that you're interested in, because you have to keep learning. If you want to keep growing, if you want to grow your financial portfolio, you have to keep learning. And sometimes like that leads to burnout, and it's annoying. Like, like, I totally understand the sentiment of like, you want to come to work, do your job, and go home. So that's why I say like it should at least be something that you're somewhat interested in, because you have to like keep evolving so that your career can continue to evolve as well. Another pitfall of working in the tech industry is that it takes some time to get your foot in the door. It takes some time to get that first role, and it's very competitive. And again, if it's not something that you're really interested in, the long haul may be unappealing. I mean, even if you're really interested in it, it's unappealing to be honest with you. Like, but I feel like if you're willing to put in the work, and what the work is watching YouTube videos to understand what the day to day looks like, reaching out to people on LinkedIn, that are in the roles that you're interested in, to see what the day-to-day looks like. Really understanding like what is it going to take for me to be in this role and be successful, to really understand like, is this something that I even want to do, before you like really put the time in and the work in. But it's competitive, and it's people that are coming from all different backgrounds. They are all different skill levels, all competing for some of these entry level roles. So again, it goes back to like the networking piece. Like, the more people who know you and can advocate for you, you only are putting yourself in the best positions for when these roles open up. And they be like, oh yeah, Joy was really interested in this. Let me see if there's something that she wants to do. And that just makes it easier, hopefully, as these roles hopefully start to open up, like for you to be the top of mind for some of these opportunities. Another pitfall of pursuing a career in tech is the lack of diversity. And if this is important to you, I'm making this series and talking about these things for the Black community. But if this is important to you, sometimes you may be the only Black person in the room. Sometimes you may be the only Black person on your team. And even in a non-technical role, that has happened to me a lot throughout my career. And for me, like, it motivates me to make these types of videos, to put myself out there with this content, because I am determined. I don't care what people say when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion, using that as a dog whistle, to talk about that you don't want Black people in these spaces. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, if you're willing to put in the work, and you're interested in something, and you're smart, and you doing what you need to do, why can't you be in these rooms? Why can't you have these opportunities? If diversity is important to you, you have to keep in mind, like, these are spaces that were historically made to not include us. And that's not to say that the people that, at your job, that may be ignorant in certain aspects of things, or like ignorant to like the Black experience, that they're inherently bad people or racist, whatever the case may be. But you have to like have the thick skin to know that everybody is not going to be on the same wavelength as you, as far as you having these opportunities. But I've been blessed to work at companies where diversity is celebrated, and diversity of thought, race, background, gender, all of that is celebrated. And there are definitely companies that are still out there that, care about these things, that want to create products that represent their usership and their user base. So keeping that in mind, that can be a deterrent, and it can be unmotivating at times. Like, I saw a post on LinkedIn that said, and it was from a white man, that shared that only 3.4% of product designers are Black. So to me, it was disheartening, but at the same time motivating, because I'm like, okay, I have to stick this out to grow that percentage, and then turn around and figure out how I can bring more Black people coming up behind me. So if that's it, it can be a pitfall, but it can also be a motivator for you to keep going. Like, I highly, highly, you know, encourage you, if working in tech is something that you're interested in or that you care about, to not look at the outside noise and focus on what you want to do, and make a step every day towards that goal, regardless of the obstacles, because it's going to be obstacles in whatever you do. So you might as well try to do something and put your pursuits towards something that you actually are interested in, right? Like, come on. So yeah, overall, I would say that pursuing a career in tech is definitely still worth it, if you're in it for the long haul. If you really care about like using this, even if using this, working in this industry as a means to an end. You want to retire early, you want to start a business, or whatever the case may be. Like, stay the course and put the work in. And I definitely feel like eventually, like for me, I know eventually God is going to open the door for me, and I'm trying to do my best to prepare myself so that I'm ready when the doors open. So I hope that this video encourages you, shine some light on like what the tea really is with pursuing a career in tech. Like I said in the beginning, people, especially with product design, like they can be super gatekeepy and pessimistic towards things. But then you have the other side of people that like really are encouraging people to continue, even though the job market looks a little shaky right now. And I definitely lean towards that a little bit more, but still being realistic of like it's not easy. The job is not easy. Getting to the job is not easy, but it definitely is worth it. So if you have any questions about working in tech, any resources that you want me to share, things like that, definitely let me know down in the comments below. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.